नमस्सर्वेभ्यः शुभमध्याह्नः कक्ष्यायां स्वागतम्। अस्माभिः इदानीं किञ्चिदेव यत् त्यक्तमस्ति सप्तमपाठे तस्य पठनं पाठान्तभ्यासानां उत्तरदायित्वं च कृत्वा तदनन्तरम् अग्रे सरामः। तु अन्तिमभागः प्रायः अस्ति सुभाषितम् इति। सुष्ठुभाषितं सुभाषितं तु अस्मिन् पाठस्य सुभाषितम् एवमस्ति। त्यजेदेकं कुलस्यार्थे ग्रामस्यार्थे कुलं त्यजेत् ग्रामं जनपदस्यार्थे आत्मार्थे पृथिवीं त्यजेत्. The last line is a beautiful punch by the Kavi. त्यजेदेकं कुलस्यार्थे ग्रामस्यार्थे कुलं त्यजेत् ग्रामं जनपदस्यार्थे आत्मार्थे पृथिवीं त्यजेत्. Okay. Except the last pada, the others are quite straightforward. The last pada, there is a twist by the Kavi. Okay, so it's very interesting that way. So this this Subhashita is largely about the bad apple. Okay, so that's why I have the pictorial over there. Okay, Tyajed-ekam kulasyarthe. This was already introduced as the summary of the katha, right? So we just saw it in the morning. So ekam purusham kupurusham iti अर्थात असमंजस इव पुरुषम कुपुरुषम एकम त्यजेत. किमर्थम त्यजेत? कुलस्यार्थे, कुलस्य अर्थे त्यजेत एकम कुपुरुषम त्यजेत. तो तत्तु बहु सुलभम अस्ति. सो प्लीज फॉर द सेक ऑफ ए कम्युनिटी, okay, or a kutumba, you can even call it, drop a person. Don't try to protect somebody because he belongs, etc., and such epithets. Gramasyarthe kulam tyajet. If instead of the kutumba, the entire grama has to be protected because of the ill path of one kutumba in the grama, you cannot stake the entire grama's progress on the line, okay, or its fame or whatever on the line. So to protect the grama so that it is not nashta, the kula has to be rejected or ejected in the sense. So tyaga of the kula has to be done for the purpose of a grama. So basically growing from small towards big in that sense. Okay. So gramam janapadasyarthe. Janapadaha ityukte janapadam iti va janapadaha iti va न जानामि. अस्तु. तु जनपदम अथवा जनपदः इत्यस्य राज्यम् इत्यस्मिन् अर्थे भवति. Rajyam. So Janapadasya arte, for the purpose of a kingdom, Gramam Tyajet. Tyajet has not been repeated by the Kavi. You can bring it in ourselves for the Purnartha. So Janapadasya arte Gramam Ekam Tyajet, we can say. So that's the third leg. The fourth leg reverses the equation completely. Okay. So Atmarte, for one's own self purpose. Okay, don't read this as selfishness. It is hardly anything to do with selfishness. It's in fact everything beyond selfishness. Atmarte, okay, prithivim tyajet. Except this doesn't mean to throw out the prithvi. Don't read it like other places where kulam tyajet, reject the kula, tyaga, like that. Now here you move away from prithvi is the meaning. Okay, leave prithvi alone. She is fine. For your own purpose, you move on. Okay, in that sense maybe, but actually there is a deeper vyangyartha in the sense that a self-realization, Atma Sakshitva, Atma Sakshi, can only happen if you detach yourself from worldly affairs and understand the higher purpose of the Atma. So that sense, the Vedantic sense of Atma is being talked about here. Okay. So here necessarily it doesn't mean you give up life and die and all that nonsense interpretation that one makes. It is about attachment, detachment. Okay. Prithivim Tyajet is about detachment from worldly matters. While continuing to be in the affairs of the world, detachment is the sense of not expecting fruits. Okay, that sense. Okay, but that doesn't mean you detach from work. It means you detach from fruits of the work. Okay, I don't need to tell this elderly audience here who are much more aware of these meanings than me, but that's what is the sense there. Atmarte prithvim tyajet is not to be translated in a literal sense like the others. Okay, others are pretty straightforward. We saw even the moral story about tyajedekam kulasyarthe. Okay, very nice. So an indiscriminate individual, so that's not been told, it's understood. So it is in Tatparya. Ekam has been extended to that. Must be kept away in the interest of the family. If it is in the interest of the village, a family must be sacrificed. A village may be abandoned for the sake of the country. See, this English translation is nice because it doesn't copycat the forms of the previous sentence. This is the richness of doing Tatparya. Any language, no? You should not keep saying the same type of sentence for the next one. You should try to add some color variation, which they have done nicely in English here. Okay. A village may be abandoned for the sake of the country. One must leave the world for self-realization. Okay, the actual leave the world, you have to take it in the sense detach from the world is a better sense. Okay, in my interpretation, detach from the sense perception of the world for self-realization. Okay, kulasya arte ekam kupurusham yatha त्यजेत तथा ग्रामस्य अर्थे कुलम अर्थात ग्रामाय हानिकरम यत् तम कुलम. ओके, त्यजेत, नॉट समकुल. जनपदस्य अर्थे ग्रामम अर्थात जनपदाय खेदजनकम यत् तम ग्रामम त्यजेत. आत्मार्थे आत्मनः अर्थे षष्ठी दट वन अर्थात मोक्ष प्राप्त्यर्थम इति भवति. तत्र पृथ्वीम एव त्यजेत. पृथ्वी पृथिव्याः किं वदामि, डिटाचमेंट, संगम त्यजेत् इति. संग इज अ लिटिल डीपर. ओके, दैट वन. ओके, सो मुक्तोऽहम् इति यदि भावः उत्पद्येत तदा त्यागेन एव. ओके, एनी क्वेश्चंस? ओके. त्यजेदेकं कुलस्यार्थे ग्रामस्यार्थे कुलं त्यजेत्. ग्रामं जनपदस्यार्थे आत्मार्थे पृथिवीं त्यजेत्. So now we have the Prashna section for the 7th lesson. Okay, so what do we have here? Translate into Sanskrit the following sentence ending in ktavatu. There is a directive not to use lang but to use ktavatu endings like kritavan, gatavan, gatavati, these forms. Okay, so let me select my god, Nilima Varya is still there. Huh? Okay, let's see if she can participate. Nilima, can you participate? Is it going to be very noisy?
I just now joined.
Okay, don't worry, Bhagini. You have to translate a couple of these sentences into Sanskritam. Boys sang a song.
Yeah.
In Ktavatu.
Okay. In Ktavatu. Okay. Ktavatu means Gittavantah.
Correct. Correct.
Balakaha Gitam Gittavantah. Gittavan.
Correct. Gitavantah.
Gittavantah.
Geetavantah. Okay. Correct. Balakaha Geetam Geetavantah. Ganam Geetavantah. Okay. Balakaha Ganam Ekam Geetavantah. Agayan would have been the lung, but you see that is Gai Shabda, and so Agayan would have been the form. Okay, but Bagini translated for Ktavatu correctly Geetavantah. So Balakaha Ganam Ekam atva Geetam Geetavantah. Next one, Bagini. People went home.
जनाः जनाः गृहं जनाः गृहं गतवन्तः.
Gatavantah. Got it, Bagini. Bagini, I know it is a very odd hour. What time is it?
It's actually 5:41 in the morning.
So you kept up late night to attend the morning class? My God.
Oh, in between 2 hours I slept.
I know. I don't know, Bagini. I don't know how can one be dedicated like you, but I'm amazed. Thank you, Bagini. We are deeply indebted to your focus and shraddha in Sanskritam. Janaha griham gatavantaha agachan. Okay. All right. So thank you, Bagini. So let's
Thank
invite
you.
Rama R. Varye. Rama R. Rama Bagini.
Huh.
Bagini. 3 and 4 for you.
A snake caught a mouse. Sarpaha
Sarpaha.
मूषकम काट को कैसे क्या
Grih,
बोलते
grih,
हैं?
grih, grih, grih.
गृहीतवान्.
Got it. See, that much clue was enough for you. Yeah. So, Sarpaha Mushakam Grihitavan. Very good. Okay. Ekaha Sarpaha Ekam Musham. Not Mushakam, not needed this Ekaha Ekam. Ekaha being Pratama qualification for Sarpa and Ekam being Dvitiya qualification for Mushaka. Okay. But not needed. Sarpaha Mushakam Grahitavan. Va. Grihitavan. I have to check this. Okay. Anyway, let's take that. I will cross check this separately. Okay, let me just
It is
quickly.
Grihitavan, sir.
They
It is Grihitavan.
No, not
It
Grahitavan.
is Gru.
This is in error. Thanks. No, if I open, okay, don't see the answers.
they feminine wrote the answer.
Wait, Bagini. Let me finish off. Okay. All right. So they feminine wrote the answer.
Taha
Correct.
uttaram
Repeat the verb, Bagini.
vatyah.
Likhitavatyah. Okay, there was some little bit internet break between us. Okay, so taha uttaram likhitavatyah. Perfect. Taha uttaram likhitavatyah. So okay, for grihitavan, the normal lung would have been agrinhat or agrihnat. However, usually we pronounce agrinhat. Okay, agrinhat would have been the lung bhutakala. Grah upadane is the dhatu. Okay. So then for likitavatyah, of course the trilingaka verb, trilingaka because verbs in the lakaras don't have linga beda. Alikhan would have been the form. Okay. Alikhan. So just for example, so that is the lik dhatu akshara vinyase. See, what I have in blue is called the dhatu pata definition. So gai shabde gam gatau grah upadane lik akshara vinyase. Then again the pata will go a little bit further and explain the paditva etc. in some cases. Okay, anyway. So well done, Bagini. Thank you very much, Rama Bagini. So let's invite Pavan Kumar Varya, V. Pavan Kumar Varya. Pavan Kumar Varya, can you participate, sir? Okay, for some reason, I think he's not able to participate. Okay, no problem. Let's invite Vishnupriya Ghoshal Varye. Vishnupriya Varye.
Mode.
Mahodaya, your Bengali partner is back in town with our class. Okay.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Varye, last 2 sentences for you.
Yeah. Women bought a sari.
Hmm.
Mahilah.
Hmm.
mm,
साड़ी हिंदी में
शाटक
साड़ी है पकड़ लिया आपने
महिलाः शाटकं
शाटिकाम
शाटिकाम् ओके शाटिकाम् बॉट
क्रीण धातु
अच्छा क- क- क्री क्रीड क्री क्रीडनवत् विमेन वत्या
क्रीतवत्यः
क्रीतवत्
ओके क्रीणीतवत्यः ओके सो
क्रीणीत
क्रीतवत्यः इस्
क्रीतवत्यः
महिलाः शाटिकाम् एकां शाटिकाम् और जस्ट शाटिकाम् शाटिका स्त्रीलिंगपद ओके
ओके
एंड देन क्रीतवत्यः ओके सो
क्रीतवत्यः
महिलाः एकां शाटिकां क्रीतवत्यः अक्रीणन् ओके ओके इट्स नॉट
क्रीण
क्रीण इट इज जस्ट क्री धातु आई
क्री
मेड
धातु
मिस्टेक क्री द्रव्य विनिमये
जी
Dravya Vinimaya. See, in fact, in the olden days, it was a Vinimaya. Vinimaya today is used in the terms of exchange, distribution, like that. Nowadays, everything is money. But anyway, so Kri Dravya Vinimaya is the Dhatu Pata. Sometimes these patas also give us cultural exposition to the world of Sanskrit days, glory
right.
days. Last one, Bagini.
A girl played in the
One
morning.
doubt, sir,
Bagini, what is the doubt?
that Anitavatyah is correct or wrong?
Anitavatyah, yeah, but they just brought it, but here bought is there. Okay, purchase is there. So
Bought.
Kritavatyah fits. Okay.
Thank you.
But it fits roughly. Obviously, you don't bring it off free. So, but bought is there, so there is a shop intended. So Kri Dhatu is slightly fitting better. Okay.
So a girl played in the morning.
Mm.
Bala
Mm.
Kri,
Creed
Kridat
Dhatu. Creed
Kridat
Dhatu is correct, but
Kridat
Ktavatu,
yeah
feminine.
Tavatu Kridatavantah
No, that is plural. What you're saying is plural. Singular, you make it.
okay. Kridat Vat
Vati, strilinga.
Vati
And then not kridata, kridita.
Kriditavati
And then in the morning?
in the morning. No, then it will be
No, that you can put in the end
Bala.
also. It's okay.
Acha. Uday, no. Morning is Prabhat.
Pratah kale.
Prabhate.
Pratah is enough. Pratah or pratah kale, like that. Okay.
Pratah Kale.
Kriditavati.
Balah. Kridita.
Balahana, bala. Okay. Eka bala.
Bala.
Kriditavati. Okay, you got
Kriditavati.
it. Okay. Balika pratah kale kriditavati. Akridat would have been
Balika
long.
is a better word than Bala.
No difference, Bagini. Bala also can be used. Balika also can be used. Bala is the first genesis. Balika is the same pratipadika with a kap pratyaya. We call it kap pratyaya. Generally, kap pratyaya in some places is used to mean a little. Okay, but not always. Okay. So Balaha and Balakaha don't have much technical difference. So also Balika and Bala. Okay, not much technical difference. Okay, it's with a cup pratyaya. You can do this cup for many things. Yeah.
Sir,
Bagini, you have
Prabhat,
to. Your question. Yes, Bagini. Prabhate.
Prabhate is the word in Sanskrit or
Yeah. Prabhataha. So Prabhate in the morning.
okay,
Okay. Yeah.
okay.
But usually Prabhat is used for very early morning, perhaps. I don't know if there is a subtle difference like that, but why not very early morning? Interpret morning as very early morning. So prabhate, so that also can be used. Hmm? So that the same way we say suprabhatam, prabhatam, like that, the same word. Okay, good morning. Yeah. Okay, so now having finished that exercise, we have these remaining. Correct the mistakes in the following sentence. So let's do some crowdsourcing. So balakaha patitavantaha. What is the mistake?
Patitavan.
Balakaha patitavantaha or
Patitavan.
balakaha patitavan.
Patitavan.
So both answers can be. So you can give both answers in the exam if you wish. It will be nice. Balakaha patitavantaha or balakaha patitavan. So, युवतयः गतवन्तः.
युवतयः
गतवत्यः.
गतवत्यः
गतवत्यः pullinga form has been used. Okay, that is not fitting yuvatayah. So gatavatyaha should be used. So yuvatayah gatavatyaha. Okay. So have a interesting picture for all this. Okay. So sa uktavan.
सा उक्तवती
Sa uktavati अथवा सः उक्तवान. One of the two. Okay. Sa uktavati or saha uktavan. You guys get catching it. So sa kim uktavati? Sa patatu samskritam iti uktavati. Huh? Good. We have it from a westerner's voice. Modakam ramasya rochate. What is wrong?
Ramaya
Bagini caught it. California is in early morning stage, so better prepared than all of us here in India. Ramaya rochate. Modakam Ramaya rochate. So ruch dhatoho sange ruchi karanam ruchyaha taste. Whoever gets the taste of whatever is in Chaturthi. So Ramaya rochate. Kurupini sundarim asuyati.
Sundaryai.
Sun Sundarya. No, not Sundaraya. Sundaraya would make it
Sundaryai.
masculine.
Sundarya.
Sundaryai. Somebody said the answer correctly. Sundaryai. Okay? Surupini,
Sundarim also
huh?
Sundarim also correct, no sir?
And this Asuya triggers a Chaturthi.
Okay.
It is not, obviously, it is not accurate. See, normally we leave it alone, but this one is a specific rule of switching over to Chaturthi for such things. Okay, we are supposed to use Chaturthi. Rupini Sundaryai Asuyati. Okay, so Balakah Patitavan Yuvatayah Gatavatyah Sa Uktavati Modakam Ramaya Rochate Kurupini Sundaryai Asuyati. Sundaraya would make it masculine. Sundaram would have gone to Sundaraya. Of course, here the Asuya is for another female. So Sundaryai is the correct one. Okay, so last few questions. Again, we can crowdsource. How many prefixes are there?
22.
22. How do you say it in Sanskritam?
Dvivimshati.
Dvavimshatihi.
Dvavimshati.
Dvavimshatihi. Dirgha is there. Okay. Dvavimshatihi. Okay, but that's what I have written in Sanskritam. See, there are 22 prefixes. You are not expected to answer in Sanskritam, but, guys. So you're okay to say 22 prefixes and with the full sentence. Question is in English, so that's it. But you can put in bracket like this. People will be happy. Dvavimshatihi upasargaha santi. Samskrite dvavimshatihi upasargaha santi. It would have been the Sanskrit sentence for that. What changes has occurred by the addition of the prefix in the word praharati? Let me call someone because it is too long an answer. Let's go with Latha Bagini, who is unmuted. Latha. Yeah, you can try answering this.
The meaning changes.
What was the meaning before adding pra and what became the meaning after adding pra?
It carries before adding, and then it beats.
Very good.
Yesterday,
Perfect answer.
yesterday.
Correct, Bhagini. You remembered very well. So you just say all that in congruent sentences. That's all. You're in business. Excellent. So praharati, before adding upasarga, harati meant to carry away, to take away, something like that. And praharati has changed the meaning to the sense of beats or hits like that. Okay, very good. Strikes, beats, hits like that. Okay, thanks, Bhagini. So what is wrong in apraharat?
It is in the past tense, so that should not be added there. It should become praharata.
Very good, very good. Brother is 100% right. So we should make aharat first and then prefix the pra. So praharat it will become. So show that, okay? So explain that in a few sentences. Don't go too cheap. Just show that, huh? Show it in that equation form if you wish. Huh? What is the speciality in pratisthate? What happened in pratisthate?
Switch to Atmanepadi.
Yes. And you can you explain further, Bhagini? Whoever answered?
Yeah. So Tishtati, Tishta is Parasmipadi. By adding a Upasarga, it has become Atmanepadi.
That's why instead of pratishtati, it takes the form pratisthate. Beautiful. That's what you have to say. So for some verb roots, dhatus, when a prefix upasarga is added, they change from parasmaipadi to atmanepadi form in bracket or the other way in declensions. Okay. And conjugations technically. Anyway, so though stha dhatu is declined as tishtati parasmai without a prefix, with the prefix pra, okay, with the prefix pra, I should put in brackets, it changes the declension or actually conjugation to pratisthate. Atmanepadi. This declension conjugation is an English technicality. I don't mind you switch from this to that, but they kind of say for nouns it is declension, for verbs it is conjugation. So we could stick to what they say because we do have Tinganta, Subanta so perfectly organized. We don't have such complicated names. Of course, we just use the ending title itself, Ting as Tinganta and Sup as Subanta like that. Okay. Yeshah tishtati, Yeshah pratisthate because he has got an award, especially in front of a lady. So his pratishtha, he thinks is very high. Anyway, interesting graph there. So with that, we are finished with the 7th lesson. Not bad at all. So let us thank the 7th lesson and open the next one. Just stand by. Oh, that is Shiksha. Okay, so welcome to the 8th patan, Ashtamaha Pataha. तो किमस्ति इति पश्यामः. तो यथा सर्वत्र अत्रापि सूक्तिः वर्तते. किमस्ति अस्मिन् सूक्तौ? ज्ञातसारोऽपि खल्वेकः संदिग्धे कार्यवस्तुनि. ज्ञातसारोऽपि खल्वेकः संदिग्धे कार्यवस्तुनि. Sandigdhe is a kriyapada there in Atmane. Okay. Jnātasāraha api, again utva of visarga followed by a purva rupa of the akara, the elision of the akara with the avagraha, right? Jnātasāraha api, Jnātasāraha, one with one knowing the essence, sara in the sense of essence, right? One despite being knowledge about of the essence of nature of whatever he is supposed to do, khalu ekaha isn't one person. Khalu is like a kind of prashnartaka udgara. Okay. It can be sometimes prashnartaka, it can be sometimes like isn't so, like that. Vyangya. Isn't it so that one is, isn't it so that one despite being knowledgeable, what? Let us see. Karyavastuni sandigdhe, upon the actual undertaking of the work. Okay, in the acts of the work, he begets doubts. Sandigdha means confusion of what path to take. When there are 2 or 3 paths, what path to take? Confusion, basically, not knowing what to do, how to execute. Like sometimes this happens if you know too much also, it happens, right? You're spoilt for choices and then you end up choosing nothing. Because you are doubting what is the right one. So that kind of thing. At least it's okay. Take one of the paths and go on. So that doesn't happen. So you end up in argument and all that. So sandig karya vastuni sandigde ekah. Ekah is already there. Kalu ekah karya vastuni sandigde. So jnatasaraha becomes a visheshana to ekah. Okay. So ekah purushaha Jnatasaraha api san, despite being knowledgeable, karyavastuni sandigde khalu. Like that. However learned a person may be, he gets doubts when he undertakes a work. As usual, this sukti comes from a beautiful Subhashitam of its own. And this is, oh, just now we saw, no? Magasya Shishupalavadham iti. So, Magasya Shishupalavadhe द्वितीय अध्याये अंके कुत्रापि वा 12तम श्लोकः अस्ति एतत् मम तावान्मतमिदं श्रूयतामङ्गवामपि ज्ञातसारोऽपि खल्वेकः संदिग्धे कार्यवस्तुनि. So somebody is telling somebody. There is nothing spectacular sukti addition happening from the first half. Probably I should have opened up 1 or 2 more verses before or after to really get the context sense. But it's nice to see Maga's creation is not like so tough for us, right? See, Mama, okay, here, let us see the breakup. He Anga, Anga is there. He Anga, Mama. Okay, so Mama is over there. Okay. Yushmakam api tavat, Vam api tavat. Mine and also yours, perhaps, that sense. Okay. Matam idam shruyatam. Listen to this opinion. So he's telling, some person is telling this Angaraja must be, okay? Some person is telling Anga or Angaraja that, hey, my opinion and perhaps as well as yours. See, this is nicely political, right? Vamapi tavat. I mean, very politically put. When you address a king, this is a nice technique, right? So, Vamapi tavat matam idam shruyatam. Listen to this opinion. So make it as if it's king's own opinion, then no problem. He will definitely carry out. So maybe the mantri or samatya, somebody is telling the Angaraja something, I think. It may be even his wife telling him. Most likely wives use such careful wording so that the husband doesn't get what you're telling like that. Okay, so ekah jnatasarah api karyavastuni sandigde, like that. So you know what to do everything. Don't become doubtful now. Just carry it out like. Okay, beautiful. Hey you, listen, please listen to my opinion. So anga sometimes is used in the sense of addressing a person also. That seems to be one aspect of anga. Okay. Please listen to my opinion, or even that of both of us. A person, despite being knowledgeable, will have his or her doubt on a matter of work that one undertakes. Isn't so? Isn't it so? Like that. Okay. Karomi va, na va, kim kartavyam shaknomi va. Sandigde. Sanskrit Bharati has given this. This is a verb. This meaning is doubts or suspects. So, Pratama Purusha Ekavachana. Any questions for the Sukti? Okay. So, Kalu is slightly different than Kim. Okay. Kim, Nanu, Kalu, these kind of things are there for wondering. Not exactly stating it as a question, pretty much a rhetorical question, which is pretty much the answer is itself. Okay, itself the answer. No need to. All you need to say is yes, yes. That's all, because the question is not really eliciting a response as such, other than yes, yes. Okay, that's all. Bhashabhyasah. Okay, so let us recruit someone to help us. Ruchita Jadhav-Varye. Ruchita Jadhav-Varye, can you help us? No, she seems to be busy. Okay, Chandrasekharan Varya, can you help read some sentences for us? Can you unmute? Can you unmute? No. I hope people are listening to me. Okay, Mrinalini Sharma. Mrinalini Sharma Varye.
हाँ महोदय.
Ha, Mahodaya. If you can read the first column of sentences, that will be nice. Slowly study the following sentences. Today it's about the verb again. It is abhyasa of the verb. Let us see. Okay.
Study the following sentences. Aham kriditva patami. I study after playing.
So let's pause there. I'll just give the thing. So here the highlight, see, patami is the kriya pada. We all know that, right? Aham patami. So why has Samskrita Bharati highlighted kriditva and call it verb lesson is the question that comes to us. Even as we look at the first sentence, that is the sense. So here, because even in kriditva, which is actually a kridanta kriya vachaka, just like kritavan, gatavan, etc. that we studied earlier for the ktavatu, this is also a kridanta, but it is called a twanta, because it obviously has a twa ending, so twanta. So now this twanta is also a kriya vachaka, except its sense of vachakatva is different. It is no more associated with any person or anything like that. So this twanta puts the kriya in the past first complete position. That means having done this action, something else is being done. Okay, kriditva, having played. So the having done sense is there in tva, having done. Okay, and also there is a variant called lyap. We are going to see when lyap will come, maybe they will teach it separately. So this is called tva, tvantam, but technically there is a kakara in the beginning called a itakshara. So tvantam like this, tvantam like that. But most people read it as tvantam and be happy with it, because we're not worried about Paninian definitions at this level. Okay, so aham kriditva patami. I, having studied, I will read. So this translation is not so. I mean, it would have been better to go butler. So I, having studied, will read. Okay, or Patami is Vartamana, but the only way we can translate in Sanskritam in English is will read or will study, like that. But Samskrita Bharati has dropped the will, which makes it slightly inaccurate sentence. You don't say I study, you say I will study. Though you are supposed to be studying right now, you will still say I will study. But I study is okay, I guess. I study after playing. Okay. Bagini, continue.
Okay. Saha stitva gayati. He sings standing.
Now you see the sense of translation. Okay, see that is our prerogative to go correctly into the new language. Okay, in sahastitva gayati, it is not in the sense of having stood he sings. So we are having stood he sings is not as nice a translation in English. So they have gone he sings standing, which is nice, as he stands. But the literal translation is that fellow having stood up, he sings. Okay, that is the literal translation. But we have to come to the Queen's version. He sings standing. Okay, so there is a little bit of concurrency of singing and standing the way it is translated in English. But in Sanskritam, the stha dhatu has gone into past complete. Gayati is the present tense verb. Okay, so the gi dhatu, gai dhatu actually. So the gai dhatu is in vartamana in activation, and stha dhatu has gone into past complete mode. Okay, or first completed mode. I should not say past completed. There's no past tense sense. First completed mode. Okay, continue. Beginning.
Amba pakam krutva pariveshayati. Mother serves after cooking.
Hmm. Poor thing. What else she will pariveshana? Okay, number 4. Beginning.
Choraha araksham drishtva davitavan.
Can you read that again, Beginning?
choraha araksham
No,
drishtva.
Again.
Arakshakam.
Ah, now you got it.
Drishtva davitavan. A thief ran away after seeing the police.
So choraha prathamam arakshakam drishtavan. Atah sah dhavitavan. So drishtva dhavitavan iti bhavati. So if you split these things, no, aham kriditavan idanim aham patami, or aham akridam aham idanim patami, aham sah sthitavan atat. I don't know how you want to do atishtat, I think. Okay, saha atishtat idanim saha gayati, amba pakam kritavati idanim amba pakam pariveshayati. Like this. Okay. Bhojanam pariveshayati. Probably we don't continue to use pakam for that. Maybe bhojanam, but pakam could be used for the object also. So like that you can split it also. In fact, you will see Samskrita Bharati will encourage you to go from split form to the combined form, etc., to show the compactness of using twanta rather than struggle repeating things. Okay. Yeah. Continue, Bhagini.
Esha patam patitva nidram karoti. This person, feminine, sleeps after reading the lesson.
They're very sure. Sanskrit Bharati is very sure. They will read the lesson and sleep. If it was a masculine statement, they would have used Shatranta. As he is reading, he sleeps like that. Anyway, Shatrantas you will study later. Okay, I was just joking. That's all. Very good. Continue, Bhagini.
Saha shalam gatva patati. He studies after going to school.
Shalam gacchati tadanantaram saha pathati. Tatra shalayam patati ityasmin arte tu saha shalam gatva pathati. Studies after going to school. This study translation is better for patati than reads. Okay, this is a better translation. Continue, Bhagini.
Aham grantam drishtva likami. I write seeing the book.
After should have been there. After seeing the book, I write. Technically, drishtva has that after sense. Okay. Yeah. Continue, Bhagini.
Aham kshiram pitva nidram karomi. I sleep after drinking milk.
Guys, now one more thing I failed to highlight earlier. In the first sentence, aham kriditva patami, krid dhatu doesn't have a karma sense to it, right? So there is no karma pada for the krid dhatu, even though it is in the embedded form of kriditva, there is no karma. So kriditva patami. Here pustakam patami, something could have been used with pat dhatu, right? Pustakam patami, something like that. So stitva, again stha dhatu is akarmaka, right? Saha stitva. So there cannot be a karma pada. Geetam gayati, ganam gayati could have been a karma pada. So but kritva, kru dhatu is very much a sakarmaka. So pakam kritva bhojanam pariveshayati could be used. Athva annam pariveshayati, something. So different karma padas, or it could carry forward, like I said, pakam pariveshayati, like that. Because pakam is the cooking, and the cooked item can be used in that sense. Okay. Next, choraha arakshakam drishtva dhavitavan. Definitely this arakshaka is a karma pada for the darshana kriya. Drish dhatus karma is arakshaka, because he is the one seen by the Chora, who is the karta. But there is no karma pada for dhavana, right? You saw there is no particular target. Griham dhavati, something like that is not possible. Let's gachati, you can use it, but this dhavati doesn't, or dhavitavan, which is the bhutakridanta version, also the dhatus akarmaka sense continues. So notice that pretty much nicely Samskrita Bharati has thrown in karma padas where they can at this level. Some places they haven't obviously always done. Pathami, Gayati and all they haven't done, but here and there they have thrown in. It is good of us to notice these things. So what is the lesson here? Even the twanta, though it is not a kriya pada, in the end it is a nama pada, but its kriya vachakatva mandates that its kriya vachakatva carries a karma association if it is so required, and that carries forward. So remember, essentially this was two sentences made it to one. Esha patham pathati, esha nidram karoti would have been the two pieces in sequence. So patitva karoti, that's all. So patham remains, nidram remains. Okay, very important. Okay, so Bhagini, where you were, I totally lost.
I was in this ninth one I am supposed to read.
So okay, so let us analyze the eighth one. Aham kshiram pitva nidram karomi. So having drunk the milk, I will do the sleep. Like I will sleep in the sense. Continue, Bhagini.
Sahasnatva pujam karoti.
So
Worships
after
bathing.
Sorry for breaking in early. Yeah. So snatva. So again, there is no karma, right? Bathing. That's it. I mean, bathing what? The body bathing, something like that. Dehams, no. Snatva doesn't have the sense. If you want to use cleaning the body, then you also say deham shuddhikritva or something like that. Okay. Shuddhikritya. Cannot use kritva at that time. So anyway, so at snatva is like akarmaka, I think. It sounds like akarmaka to me. Okay. In English, it is akarmaka, I think. Well done, Bhagini. Thanks for reading all that. Very nice. So very quickly, I will reread only the Sanskritam for you guys. Or maybe Bhagini can reread only the Sanskritam. Bhagini? Yeah.
Okay. Should I read?
Aham kriditva patami. Sah stitva gayati. Amba pakam kritva pariveshayati. Choraha आरक्षकं दृष्ट्वा धावितवान् एषा पाठं पठित्वा निद्रां करोति सः शालां गत्वा पठति अहं ग्रन्थं दृष्ट्वा लिखामि अहं क्षीरं पीत्वा निद्रां करोमि सः स्नात्वा
No. Reread.
Saha snatva pujam karoti.
Perfect. Okay. So thanks, Bhagini. Good, very good effort. So let's pick another volunteer for the balance sentences for us. Venkatesh Paivarya, can you help us for the second column?
Yes, I am here. In between, just before commencing, let me ask you this. This is like avya, kriditva.
Yeah, finally what happens is
in the first
this,
sentence.
Correct. These twantas are like avyaya shabdas. They don't have. They don't have. Yeah, all the qualities of avyaya they have. They don't decline. Okay. Yeah. Correct. So can you read from 10 through 19, sir?
I can do that because there is some network issue. If you are audible, I can continue.
Try. If it becomes difficult, I will ask to someone else. Yeah.
Aham artham jnatva vadami. I speak after knowing the meaning. Aham artham jnatva vadami. Correct, no?
Correct, sir. It's coming
am I audible?
Through. Yes, you are audible.
Am I audible? Yeah. Te shabdam shrutva bhitavantah. They were scared after hearing the sound. Te shabdam shrutva bhitavantah. बालाः अर्थं पृष्ट्वा ज्ञातवन्तः. Children understood after asking for the meaning. बालाः अर्थं पृष्ट्वा ज्ञातवन्तः. Number 13. भक्ताः देवं स्मृत्वा पूजयन्ति. Devotees worship thinking of God. Bhaktaah devam smrutva pujayanti. Bala. Okay, shall I continue?
Please continue, sir. Please continue. I will cut in the end. Yes.
Yeah. Balaah patitva rudanti. Children cry after falling down. Balaah patitva rudanti. Children cry after falling down. Tvam chhatram grihitva gaccha. You go after the umbrella with you. Tvam chhatram grihitva gaccha. Chorah dhanam chorayitva neetavan. Chorah dhanam chorayitva neetavan. A thief stole the money and took it away. 17. Tvam mam uktva gaccha. Tvam mam uktva gaccha. You tell me and go. Does it mean you leave before, after telling me? You go after telling me?
No. You tell me first and then you leave. Yeah.
And go. Okay. Te phalam khaditva triptim praptavantah. Te phalam khaditva triptim praptavantah. They felt satisfied after eating the fruit. Balakaah devam vanditva gatavantah. Balakaah devam vanditva gatavantah. Boys went away after bowing to God.
Excellent, Varya. Thanks for reading it. Everything came through fine. No problem. There is some delay in the channel between us, but it came through fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So now let us analyze the few variations. What is happening here? So here, what Samskrita Bharati is doing is mixing and matching vachana, linga, everything to show that everywhere simply tva is happening. Whether it is aham, saha, yesha, choraha, amba, none of them influence this kritva. It is not like a kridanta like tavatu where linga beta etc. occurs. So the point that Venkateshwarya made in the beginning as he started reading, this is an avyaya. So it doesn't have any sensitivity to the karta. Okay, it is a simple, but it is still a kriya vachaka. It is still having kriya embedded in it, but is simply in the sense of having done some action. So the karma pada is still related to it, the karta is still related to it, but it is not influenced by the karta's linga. Just like any normal kriya pada doesn't, but in a different sense. This guy is like an avyaya. Normal kriya pada at least follows the vachana, no? For amba, it is ekavachana. For example, te, it should have been bahuvachana. Nothing like that. So shrutva is for ekavachana, dvivachana, bahuvachana, pullinga, strilinga, everything, but it still carries the kriya vachakatva to attach a krama pada to it and a karta to it and any other possible variant vibhakti senses that can come in that part of the phrase. Okay, so that's the important thing. Another thing to note is the twanta is usually possible only if the karta is common at least. You cannot make Ramaha Geetam Shrutva Lakshmanaha Gatavan. It will be totally illegal construct. Okay. Rama having heard the song, Lakshmana went. That even in English it sounds terrible, na? So the same way, such illegal pairing cannot be done. So the karta has to be common for the kriyas, two kriyas. The twanta kriya and the active kriya, whatever follows, something has to be common, which is the karta. Okay, then only it's possible. Okay, so that's another thing if you notice. Aham kridami, aham patami. Sahas tishtati, saha gayati. Amba pakam karoti, amba pariveshayati. Choraha pashyati, choraha dhavati. Yesha pathati, yesha karoti. Like this, there is the same everywhere. Okay, which is why it is not even repeated in the second half. because karta is common. Very important lesson to take away. Not particularly highlighted here, but I think they will speak about all this next. Okay, I am just bringing to our attention as Mahodaya has read, etc. It is nice. The other thing you notice, okay, the second half can be in different lakaras or kridanta forms, etc. Pathami vartamana kala, gayati vartamana kala, all this pariveshayati vartamana. So this bhuta kridanta dhavitavan, okay, then you see here, okay, uttama purusha also, then bahuvachana also, and then in some places you see gaccha, lot, okay, tvam gaccha, okay, tvam chatram grihnatu, tvam grihna probably, okay, tvam chatram grihna, tvam gacchatu, tvam gaccha, sorry, tvam gacchatu, bhavan gacchatu, tvam gaccha. So this lot sense is there. See, gaccha again came. So various, they are showing various moods also happening here. Okay, that's another interesting learning. Otherwise, the meanings are there. I don't need to teach you any specific. I already talked about karma associations and things like that. Okay. So one of the important things for us when we learn dhatus is to also study its ktavatu form, now twanta form, etc. So that we remember the dhatu from its different colors. How does it sound in twanta? How does it sound in lyapanta? How does it sound in ktavatu? How does it sound in kta? This, and then later on you are going to study shatru, shanach, etc. in the shiksha level. So all those important kridanta, how these dhatus sound, at least the 50 or so that we may want to master, is important lesson. So later on you will see, as Samskrita Bharati teaches you, they are going to go into these 13-14 important forms of each dhatu and teach them, rather than explode it to all its 400, 500 varieties. They just compact it to 13 critical forms and show you, which is a very good. They will put it in appendix also in the advanced lesson. Okay, it will appear again and again in the subsequent books. Okay. So let's move forward. So what I have here is some important dhatus: kridati, tishtati, karoti, pashyati, pathati, gacchati, pibati, snati, janati, shruyate, atmanepadi, pruchati, smarati, patati, grihnati or grihnati, both are okay. Chorayati, vadati. This is a gana is having the yakara. So vadati, khadati, vandate, atmanepadi.
Shamita Mahodaya, that shruyate, shrunoti api samichinam asti va? Shrutva, 11th one.
Shrunoti, shruyate, both are, I wonder, shruyate is karmani. I have to check. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, shru, shravane, vadihi, shrunoti, shrunutah, shrunvanti is its lat form. Okay, so bhava karmanoho. Ayyo, it is missing in the table. I think it is shruyate, shruyete, shruyante. Okay, it is in that sense probably, and it is a sakarmaka. So at least I can't confirm straight away because it's missing in the thing. But you see the same thing in lot, same dhatu in lot. This shru, shravane dhatu in lot goes shrunotu, shrunutat, shrunutam, shrunvantu. So in the lot it sounds like that shrunoti sense. Shrunotu is there. Okay, but in the lat it is very clearly shrunoti. Okay, that form. Okay, shruyate is not seen. Shruyate, if I search also, it is appearing 0 entries. So we have to check, is it probably bhava karmanohama of shru dhatu? Okay, not the direct form. Okay. See here I have listed Shruyate, so I myself. So here what is a Shrutva? So I think Shrunoti I should have put there. So maybe you also got distracted by my Shruyate there. I can understand what I did here. So I should stick to Shrunoti.
All others are Parasmayapadinah.
No,
That one
Shruyate is there.
different. So,
Shruyate is there. I think it is Karmani Prayoga. Shrunoti. That's why.
Shruyate va, you used to ask.
Shruyate va, you heard 100 times, right? Shruyate va. So that Shruyate is Bhavatya Shruyate va, like that. Whatever Ukti I am telling, is it Shruyate? So it is a Karmani Prayoga of the same Shru Dhatu. Okay, I should not volunteer that here. I should put Shrunoti. Obviously, my lack of knowledge has made me type the other one. Okay, sorry about that.
Sorry, Bhavatya.
No. You are helping us. Sharp. Thank you. So let us see the summary of Twantam. Okay, though it's 4 o'clock, let us read this summary at least quickly. Okay, Twantam. In the above sentences, the words with Ktwa are Twa. Like see, Ktwa is that Paninian It Akshara included. He puts that Ka in the beginning for certain technical reasons. Okay, so but actually after eliding the extra technical letters, you get Twa as the ending. Twa suffix are used block lettered. Okay, that is what we saw in bold. When twa is suffixed to a root, these forms are obtained. So creed plus twa, creeditva. So there is some prakriya. It is not like creedtva like that. There is some prakriya engineering involved in transforming the sounds to be meaningfully pronounceable. So creeditva like that. Pat, twa, pathitva. Generally you are getting itva, but not always. Uktva. So there are variations. Okay. When two actions are done in succession by a single agent, see this, that's what we were highlighting. Okay. Common agent. Single agent doesn't mean singular, by the way. It can be a plural agent, but only one agent. Okay. Karta. Twa suffix is added to the former root. The action that has been done first is put there. Okay. All right. It doesn't require a causal effect in the first action. That means the first action need not be as if that is the cause of the second action. Nobody is saying that. But it is simply the first action by the same agent and then the next action by the same agent. That the first action was something required and essential for the second action to take place is context dependent. It is not forced. There is no karya karana bhava, we say. There is no karana karya bhava. It's nothing like twanta kriya has to be karana and the other kriya has to be karya. There is no enforcement like that. I am just giving a little more technical explanation about that. So let's read this. When two actions are done in succession by a single agent or karta, twa suffix is added to the former root. Udaharanam balakah kridati, balakah patati, balakah kriditva patati. Here the boy does two actions, namely playing and reading. By adding twa to the first root, we get the form kriditva. Sureshah kridati, Rameshah patati. See, they have switched the agent. Sureshah kridati, Rameshah patati. Here the subjects are different for both actions. Hence, we cannot use twa to combine them. We should not state, okay, Sureshah kriditva, Rameshah patati. No. So this cannot happen. Some forms of the verbs change by the addition of the twanta. So now they are bringing attention to the special ones, which is nice. Pruchati prishtva, vahati udhva, gacchati gatva, yachati datva, tishtati sthitva. We will encounter this a lot, right? Nayati neetva, gayati geetva. These are not so tough than this tisht stha variation. Okay, or for example vah ood variation, quite a large variation there. Okay. Gayati geetva, smarati smritva. Not too bad. Okay, so some are pretty different, some are reasonably straightforward modification, but none of them have the original itva forms. That is the important. Okay, stitva does have, but the dhatu itself has changed its form from tisht to stha. Okay, stitva. Otherwise, it is an itva type only. Okay. So next is lyap. So they are going to teach one more, and like I was telling you, this is like a sister of twanta. I'm using sister because lyap sounds like feminine to me. Okay, so sister of twanta. Why she is a sister of twanta is because lyap is a replacement for twanta at certain conditions. Okay, that's what is going to be taught next to us. So let's take a few minutes quickly to read some examples. I will just go fast a little bit. We'll study these sentences. Arakshakah choram anusrutya gatavan. So Arakshakah choram anusarati. Arakshakah gacchati. So Arakshakah choram anusrutya gatavan. Or agachat, I should have said, because it's gatavan. So Arakshakah choram anusrutya gatavan. So having followed, he went. So there is no difference. The same having followed the thief, he went, like that. So why is there tya type of ending? Why not twa, anusrutva, like that? That is the question that comes to us. Now the lesson is that later they are going to say whenever there is an upasarga prefix to the dhatu, you cannot use twanta, switch to lyabanta. That's all they are saying. Lyabanta, the bakara is due to sandhi. Lyap is the technical one, and only lya will remain. And that actually even lakara is it. So ya will remain. Okay, so that's how it. Okay. Chorah dhanam apahritya dhavitavan. So it would have been hritva if it was twanta. For here, saritva, something like that it would have been. Saritva. That has now become sritya. So hritva has become hritya. Or you cannot say hritya, I have to say apahritya, prahritya. Any prefix I can add. Okay, which is meaningful to that dhatu. So chorah dhanam apahritya dhavitavan. So the robber stole the money and he ran. I mean, English is easy, guys. Shastram abhyasya saha panditaha abhavat. See, I don't know the dhatu here. So up, yes, must be something to do with yes or something. Dhatu like that. Abhyasya. Okay. Okay, whatever upasarga combination is there, so it is still a lyap there, abhyasya. It is not like ramasya, like shashti. So be careful to not conclude by looking at things sounds like rama shabda, so it is maybe abhya shabdaha, abhyasya, shashti, ekavachana. No, no, no. This is a avyaya, lyabanta avyaya. Okay, this is also avyaya, just like twanta avyaya. Okay, shastram abhyasya saha panditaha abhavat. Having practiced shastra, he became a pandita. In this case, they have brought the karta as reference in the second half, but saha shastram abhyasya panditaha abhavat is the overall interpretation. Bhaktaha devaya pushpani samarpya gatavan. Arpana, that arp dhatu. So I don't know its original form, but it is that. Samarpya, sam upasarga. So lyabanta. So the devotee, for the sake of God, flowers having submitted, having offered, he went. Sevakah vrikshat avatirya gatavan, having gotten down. Ava upasarga and tir dhatu. Tirati, something like that is there. So avatirya, having gotten down. Another thing about twanta, just like tavatu, etc., twanta, lyabanta also do not distinguish atmanepaditva and parasmaipaditva. They just take the dhatu and work on it. Okay, so that paditva goes away. Paditva is playing a role a lot in the lakara world. Okay, it seems to lose its sense when we come to kridanta world so far. Okay. All right. So Sevakah Vrikshat Avatirya Gatavan. So the worker got down from the tree and went. Huh. Tvam Rajum Akrishya Pashya. Akrishya. So Karsh Dhatu. Karsh is to attract, to draw something towards oneself. Okay. Akarshana, you know that. So Akarshana actually with the Ang Upasarga. So drawing something towards you is Akarshana. So Akrishya, having drawn something towards oneself. So Tvam Rajum Akrishya Pashya. You draw this rope towards you and look. Or you look, pull the rope and see. I don't know under what context. Maybe elder sister is teaching the younger sister how to draw water from the well. Those of you who have played with a well and a kumbha with a rajju will know the difficulty of making water fill in that pot. Okay, so stvam deepam nirvapya shayanam kuru. Nirvapayati. That vapayati. So nirvapayati means closing or something like that, covering, closing. So in the sense it becomes like putting off for a deepa. So deepam nirvapya shayanam kuru. So after closing the light, you sleep like that. So because of ni upasarga, nihi, nis. Nis, I think, is the upasarga there. That's why repa has come. So nis nir. Sometimes I think of nis nir as actually two copycats. I don't know why they're separate. I need to go check back Michika Bagini's book to see if there is a technical difference. So that one. Okay. Aham. Yes, Bagini.
Which dhatu is there in nirvapya?
Nihi or nis.
But main dhatu, what
Oh,
is the dhatu?
dhatu. Vapayati, something like that must be. I need to check also, Bagini. Huh?
Okay.
When again, let's quickly check. I got a hit. Vai dhatu. Nijante vapayati. Vapu dhatu. Bija santane. That is not. That is not. Vapu to plant, to sow, to chop. Vai to dry, to wither. I think to wither sense is there in putting off. So maybe vai dhatus. So vai shoshane vapayati. That's also having the same form. So I think this one. Because vai shoshane means to reduce, to make something dry. So nirvapya gives the sense of, in the olden days, it was oil lamp anyway. So you would put off by denying the oil, choking it, or denying the air, etc. So that sense, I think. Huh?
Okay.
Very deep. Dhatu. Dhatus little guha, their meanings. Okay. So akrishya pashya. Tvam di nirvapya. Aham sanmargam ashritya gachami. So ang upasarga and ashraya, that same sense is there in this dhatu. I don't know again what is the original dhatu form, but shritva, something like that. Okay. Need to cross check it again, can be done. So I, having taken refuge in the proper path, I go like that. Okay, I get on following the right path. Get on in the sense I move on in life, that sense, following the right path. Ashritya, having taken refuge in. Okay. Shritva, something like that. Shritva. It is not shru dhatu, it is something else. Must be. Saha yantram utpadya vikrayanam karoti. He, having produced utpadana, okay, is to produce. See, sometimes some dhatus you will see we never use them in its native form almost. We not today, I mean, not the Sanskrit pandits that they used to use, but we today in our languages, when we invite words from Sanskritam, we always know is utpadana. We never know it as padana or something like. What is padana? It doesn't make any sense to us. What is padana? But utpadana is making sense to us. Production, like that. Okay. Ashraya, it makes sense to us. Shri Shraya, no, it nothing triggers in our head. Okay. Krish, also akarsha. That's how we always know it. So many of these we are familiar with them in our local tongues also. At least in Kannada, akarshana, nivarana, ashraya, utpadana. These are also there in its own apabhramsha ways in Kannada. So I immediately tack on to them. But if you tell me Vap, Krishya, I look at you. What are you saying? So that kind of problem is there. Saha yantram utpadya vikrayanam karoti. So he produces a machine and then he sells it like that. Okay. So with that we will end with this slide. Okay. There are more examples, and so what we'll do is in the next week's class we will practice lyapanta a little bit and keep moving. Okay. So let's call it a day. It's well past our hour. So let's continue next week our fight with these lessons. We are coming closer and closer to 10th lesson and a question paper review session. I hope to complete in July, but it doesn't look very promising. I might need one more weekend set in August to conclude the lessons. Probably the question paper review will largely happen in August first week, I think. Okay. So with the prarthana, let us close today. Any questions before I do the prarthana and closure? Okay.
This lyabantam and twan. That meaning is not coming out very clearly.
Okay. Very good question. See, basically, Panini doesn't complicate his life by trying to give some meaningful name to everything. Okay. For him, once you drop into Sanskritam, twanta means you immediately know having done something. So the twantam in all grammarians and those of us who study this will end up becoming having done something ending. So twa antam. So he takes his technical title for the suffix called ktwa, this one, ktwa, ktwa. So his suffix title for this particular kridanta is ktwa. Okay, so it's called ktwa kridanta. So any the dhatu, when we attach the ktwa kridanta, becomes a twantam. Because it has the ending in ktwa kridanta. Okay, so a word like kriditva is a twantam. Patitva is a twantam because it has got the twa in it. Okay, is that much clear?
Yes, sir.
So same with lyap. Okay. In case of lyap, only yakara remains, I think. So only ya you see largely. Anusrutya. So see in upasarpya, only ya is there like that. In ta is part anusrutya like that. Some prakriya generated takara. It's not from the lyap.
Something like this ninth which is there, sir. Saha yantram utpadya vikrayanam karoti. So can I also say yantram utpaditva vikrayanam karoti?
No. Exactly, that is the teaching. Once an upasarga ut has come, you cannot use tvanta. You have to switch to lyabanta. Got it?
Okay. If it is a upasarga, then only then.
Correct. If there is a prefix upasarga there, your postfix tvanta should switch to lyapanta. Okay?
Okay.
And lyapanta's technical letters, if you remove, yakara comes.
Okay. Thanks.
Good question. So let's do a prayer. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Harihi Om. Namasarvebhya Punah Agrima Vasarante Pashyamaha Patamaha. Namo Namaha.
Namo Namaha.
Namaste.
Namo Namaha. Dhanyavad.